From the television studios of the Jack J. Valenti School of Communication at the University of Houston, welcome to the Discovery section of Graffiti, the electronic newsletter of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. My name is John David Powell. May always is an important month for class. It's when we recognize our newest alumni, a little more than 1,000 undergraduate and graduate students. Well, this year, May also brings another milestone. The School of Communication can now hang out a new shingle, one that reads the Jack J. Valente School of Communication, after approval last month by the University of Houston System Board of Regents. The driving force behind the naming of the school is University of Houston alumnus and chair of the UH System Board of Regents, Regent Wilson Sr. Governor Rick Perry appointed him to the Board of Regents in 2006, and the board elected him as its chair for the current fiscal year. Chairman Wilson has been part of the fabric of Houston, of Texas, and of the nation since his graduation from the University of Houston in 1949. He is a successful real estate developer, a former chairman of 3 Texas banks, and a member of the Eisenhower and Kennedy administrations as a 5-state director of civil defense mobilization, the forerunner of today's FEMA. And I'm pleased to have him as our guest this month. Welcome.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
So you are the driving force behind the naming of the school. I mean, this was almost a labor of love for you.
Well, I'm so pleased that the school will bear Valenti's name. And because I believe sincerely that the Jack J. Valenti name adds a great deal to what we're doing. For 45 years, Jack Valenti was assistant to the President of the United States and Motion Picture Association president. In both roles, he traveled all over the world, meeting and getting to know prime ministers, kings, queens, every pope, and as a result is a true international figure. By adding the name Jack Valenti to the School of Communication, I believe it will open new horizons for the school.
You worked with Jack at the university when you were students.
Yes, we actually didn't quite match up. I entered as a junior in September of 1946. Valenti graduated as president of the student body in May of 1946. Okay. But we met shortly thereafter when he was at Harvard as a graduate student. And then he returned to Houston, had a very successful career in communications. Valenti was a head of an advertising agency, Weekly and Valenti, one of the important agencies in Houston. Valenti was a columnist for the Houston Post. He authored 5 books. And John, he was without peer as a public speaker. He was absolutely the best I had ever heard. And I heard him speak many times. But his style and his way of speaking and so forth was great.
Why is it so important that we have the Valenti name, or any name, but specifically the Valenti name on the School of Communication?
Well, let me give you an example. I got a call yesterday from a man named Lance Funston. Lance Funston was a student of the School of Communication in the early 60s. And he got his degree, went on to Harvard with the help of Valenti. He went on to Washington, D.C. and worked for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Again, Valenti was involved. And he called me so excited about the naming of the school. And he, in my view, is going to give a significant cash gift to the School of Communications to honor his friend Jack Valenti. The Valenti name generates emotion. I was with Joe Albritton the other day. Joe Albritton owned 7 TV stations. Communications is his field. And we can expect a substantial contribution from Albritton to this in order to honor Valenti. So Valenti, the best communicator I ever knew, is the man that we have selected to name the School of Communications for.
Sure. So it gives the school an identity.
Sure.
And then it opens the door for people to participate in the success of our students and in the school in a way that maybe they wouldn't have before. And you've been traveling all over the country lately in the last year since he died. He died almost just a little over a year ago. And have gained quite a bit of support for this move.
Yes, and we will be announcing in just a few days a major campaign to raise money for the School of Communications. There's a lot that needs to be done, and we're going to get it done. The Hearst Foundation gave us a major gift. The Hearst Corporation owns the Houston Chronicle, and so we're very pleased with that. We have support from 3 other foundations in Houston, along with a list of individuals.
How does all this fit in with the campus plan? We have the new president, Renu Couture. You're the new chair of the board. Where does all this fit into the move to move the university up to the next level?
Well, we feel like that the School of Communication will have an opportunity to become a world-class school, a world-renowned school, because we're going to be able to give it the resources that it needs in order to do what it already knows how to do, but without the resources. So we think it's going to lift the School of Communications. At the same time, we're hoping to lift the entire university. John, let me tell you, our new chancellor is incredible. I'm so pleased at her selection. She has the enthusiasm, she has the knowledge. She held every position in academia. She was an assistant instructor, an assistant professor, an associate professor, a professor, a department head, an assistant dean, a dean, and provost. 22 years she has been through every step in academia. And so she has all the answers, and she's got the fire in the belly, which a trait she shares with her chairman, to get something done.
Sure.
So we're going to do it.
We've got a legislature coming up
Right.
in January. And this is an important time for the university, especially as she moves forward with her plan. What challenges do we face?
Well, we have a great deal of support in the legislature. She and I have met with a half a dozen key state representatives. We've met with the governor, we've met with the lieutenant governor and the Speaker of the House. All pledged support, and I expect that they're going to be very supportive of what we do. But there's a lot more to do. Let me give you an example. In order to reach the Tier 1 status that we keep talking about, we must increase our alumni support. We need to double the number of alumni that give back to the University of Houston.
It's a pretty dismal number right now.
It is, and we're going to change that.
Yeah.
I was pleased I sent a personal message to every graduating senior this May. And in the first day, something like 150 people signed up. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to improve those numbers. But that's just one category, alumni giving back to a list of things that need to be done to get us to Tier 1 status.
What are a couple of more?
Well, the number of postdocs, and I'm sure people don't even know what that means, but that means the number of postgraduates with doctor's degrees that are on the University of Houston campus working in research. And a number of categories such as that. But the most significant one is the amount of federal research dollars that we get each year. Right now we get $50 million a year in federal research. We get $88 million overall every year. We need to double the federal research money we get. And the Chancellor and I have been to Washington, D.C. We met with each of the 10 members of the Houston, Texas delegation. We met with both senators, met with everyone individually. They all pledged support, and I think we can make some substantial strides this year, particularly in wind energy.
Well, we also need to encourage researchers and faculty to write these grants, these proposals for research that will bring in the research dollars. And sometimes that can be a difficult thing, especially when they have to balance research with classroom time and other things that they do.
Not only that, and I'm urging the faculty to do that, and not only to do it, but to think big in terms of what they ask for. Mm-hmm. Because I think the University of Houston has a message, we have the credentials, we are a major research university, not as big as some, but certainly a major one. And so the faculty, as you say, need to get busy and get these proposals out.
One thing President Couture says, which I find true, is the farther you get from the University of Houston campus, the greater the reputation of the university.
Oh, there's no question about that.
It seems like that we just have a problem believing in ourselves. But people out in the nation and across the world already know about us. But
well, it's sort of like my wife. She doesn't think I'm very smart or very prominent or anything else. Other people may think that I'm all right. So it is a matter of being so close. But I guarantee in London, in Beijing, in Chicago, New York, the reputation of the University of Houston is outstanding. And one thing that we are going to do, talk about communications, we're going to do what every major enterprise in America does to get the message out. We're going to advertise. Now, does that sound familiar to the School of Communication?
Yeah.
Because most other universities do it, and we're going to do it. In other words, we need to get our message out about what we're doing in wind energy, in fuel cells, in biodiesel testing, in many, many complicated fields that people would be very interested in hearing about.
Welcome, Wilson, Chairman of the University of Houston System Board of Regents, the driving force behind the naming of the Jack J. Valenti School of Communication. Thank you for being with us. I'm John David Powell, and thank you for watching, and make sure you come back to Graffiti next month.